Good morning, everyone. My name is Fadi Saleh, and I'm working for Roivenue. It's a marketing tech Czech company. It's based in Prague, and we'll just give only two to 3 minutes to start until some other people will join us. We will be starting, guys, in 1 minute. Okay, we're gonna start. Good morning, everyone. My name is Fadi Saleh. I'm working for a company called Roivenue. It's a marketing technology company that provides a marketing platform, which is like mainly focusing on data-driven attribution. First of all, I want to thank every one of you for attending this webinar and investing your time in this session. And I hope it will be as beneficial as you want it to be, and to have the information, to grab the information that you are expecting from it. So I hope it will be up to your expectations. Of course, the content of this presentation would be a little bit would need so much time, so we're gonna split it into 3 parts. The first part, which I will be presenting, it's gonna be about data-driven attribution and its models, and why, and the major point of our webinar: why does Google Analytics show you fewer conversions than ad platforms? This will be my part in the first 30 minutes. Then the second 30 minutes will be split into 2 parts. The first part will be a 15 minutes demo, which will be presented by my colleague, Mr. Lukas. He's our tech guy. He's our brains of the brains of the product. So everything technical, it's gonna be like through him. He's gonna be making a 15 minutes demo, live demo on the platform, and the other 15 minutes it will be for your questions, which will be provided on Slido. And Mr. Lukas, he will be also the one who will be answering the questions. And regarding Slido, you already have the link on Slido on your emails, and it will be also shared on the chat of this webinar. So let's start. We're gonna be like presenting or introducing attribution, and we're gonna explain the attribution problem in football to make it as easy as possible. So when a goal is scored, who gets the credit? It was probably multiple players who have contributed through passes, some other players who have opposed or let's say blocked the opposing team's defenders, and there's for sure someone who scored the goal. So the reality is that each player should have a part of the contribution of this goal, but how big this part is. So that is basically the attribution problem in football. Who gets the credit for the scored goal? To measure attribution, we have different models. The first model, and which marketing people usually know so much, which is this is the most famous, let's say, the last click model. In this model, all the glory goes to the striker. Like, even if the goal scorer was like lame all the game, maybe he was like not even contributing to the plays all the game, maybe he didn't even contribute to the goal scored, but because he was the last guy who touched the ball before entering the goal, that's why he takes all the credit. Definitely, we cannot say this is an accurate model. It is unfair, because definitely there are other people or other players who have contributed to the goal, and like they had an effect, a huge effect on the scored goal. So it is an inaccurate and unfair model. Another model we can use to measure attribution, which is the first click model. In this model, all the credit goes to the one who was at the beginning of the scoring sequence. So sometimes it's the goalkeeper on a fast break. He threw the ball to a player or to the goal scorer, and then the goal is scored. So this first player, or maybe the defender who retained the ball from the opposing team, like he took the ball, he retained the ball from them, and then he passed the ball to the striker or to another player who created another pass. So all the credit is given to the first player. Definitely, again, this is an inaccurate and unfair model, because even if the goalkeeper threw the ball in a fast break, which he really contributed to the goal, but he couldn't be given the 100% credit, because like maybe the goal scorer had a 30-meter shot, he had some brilliant skills to score the goal, or even the passer who created the chance, he created a pass which was like really facilitated the goal to be scored. So in this case, those people or those players didn't take any credit. The only credit was given to the first player who started the sequence. So again, this is an unfair and inaccurate model. Another model, which is the linear model. In this model, the good thing about it, it doesn't give like 100% credit for one player, but it gives the credit equally. It splits the credits equally among all the players. So let's say like 4 players were engaged in this goal scored. So like 25% is given to each and every player. Definitely, also this is an unfair and inaccurate model, because there must be someone in the team who had like more effect than other players for the goal scored. Like as we said, maybe the goal scorer, the striker, he had some brilliant skills, or the passer, he created a creative chance which facilitated the striker to have the goal. So definitely this is an unfair model as well. Now there are other rule-based models, such as like this is more like a randomized distribution of the credits, like 40% goes to the first player, 40% goes to the last player, and 20% is equally distributed among the rest. This is actually not based on very like good data, because it's more like randomly distributes the credits, and not every single person is taking the credit he deserves. So we also consider it an inaccurate and unfair model. So now the last model, which we use in Roivenue, and it's the most accurate model, which is the data-driven attribution model. And this model, a huge amount of data is imported into the model, and then we calculate the best possible estimate. What does this mean? Like in football, there are some players who have touched the ball. There are some players who had brilliant skills. There are some players who didn't even touch the ball, but they moved from one position to the other, and they dragged other defenders from the opposing team. They dragged them with them in order to facilitate the ball to the passer or to the goal scorer. So you study and you learn every single aspect and every single detail in order to give the credit to every single person who have contributed to the goal. So this is like the ultimate source of truth, let's say. We cannot consider, there's nothing called 100% truth, because at the end of the day, like there must be missing something missing, but this is like the 99% ultimate source of truth. So now, how it works in marketing. Let us relate this football explanation to marketing. So the same way we distributed credits on players who contributed to the goal, in marketing, we would like to split the revenue from a transaction among marketing channels which participated in the customer conversion. Now, there can be, for example, 3 interactions for one user, maybe in different days with different ads. We want to know which channel have contributed to this conversion and by how much. And that's what we do in Roivenue. We calculate that from the customer's behavior data using AI-based attribution. By that, we try to ensure a fair allocation of every channel and give credit to every channel, so that the scorer or the last channel is not overrated, and the other channels who facilitated this conversion are not underrated. So why does Google Analytics show you fewer conversions than ad platforms? We have here a real life case. There is a client who is running campaigns on Facebook and in Google Ads. His Facebook reported 100 conversions. Google Ads reported 80 conversions. Now the client would be expecting that he has 180 orders in his order management system. But unfortunately, he was surprised to find out that there are only 140 orders received. So where is the discrepancy of, why is there a discrepancy of 40 conversions? Of course, we have an attribution problem here. What happened there is that some of the conversions have been counted twice. There was one purchase happened, and both Facebook and Google calculated it as its own conversion. Now the client, for example, clicked on an ad on Facebook to buy shoes, but for a certain reason, he didn't buy them immediately. After 2 days, he searched for the shoes on Google, and clicked on the ad, and for a certain reason, maybe he just had his salary, maybe he was in a very good mood, he bought the shoes. Now, in this case, Facebook reported it as its own conversion and Google as well. See, this is the problem you will face if you trust the reporting of each platform you have. But what other options do you have? Like, how can we solve this duplicate orders, the duplication? How can we solve it? Of course, you can check the result in your web analytics platform, which measures transactions, which everyone knows is the Google Analytics. Definitely, with Google Analytics, you will solve this problem, and you will solve the duplication of the duplication problem. So you will see where is the discrepancy. But according to Google Analytics, because it only uses the last click model, the 100% credit in this case is given to Google Ads, because the customer first went to Facebook and then after 2 days went to Google Ads. So according to Google Analytics and the last click model, Google Ads took the 100% credit of this conversion. But is this true? Is this fair? Definitely not, because maybe whether in this case or in any other case, if it wasn't of the Facebook ad, he maybe wouldn't have ever landed on Google ad to make the purchase. So how will we give credit to all the channels which contributed to this conversion? That's why we have Roivenue. You can have Roivenue, which is a platform for data-driven attribution. Roivenue will use data about each of the two visits and assign the fair allocation of credits among the two platforms. So we have here, for example, a customer journey. It started with some impressions, like videos, random videos about a certain product. Then after some time, or maybe on another day, the customer clicked on an ad on Facebook for the same item. Then another time, another day maybe, he clicked on an ad for Cririo. Then the last channel he landed on is Google Ads. He clicked on the ad and then he decided to make the purchase. So when we go back to the models, according to the last click model, 100% of the credit is given to Google Ads. The customer, the last channel the customer has landed on was Google Ads, and it definitely contributed to the conversion, but it's unfair to give it the 100% conversion, because 100% positive that everybody, that the customer or the other channels had really an effective, let's say, convincing content for the customer to make the purchase. So this is really unfair to the other channels and the impression videos that he had seen. So again, maybe if it wasn't of these channels or the impression videos, maybe the customer would have never landed on Google Ads. So we consider this model as an inaccurate model, first of all, because it doesn't see any impressions. All the credit goes to the last click or the last channel, and most touch points, advertising budgets are not counted. This is a very important thing. You are marketing experts. So like every year, at the end of the year, you all meet with your management, with your teams to allocate budgets for the next year. So you allocate budgets for this channel or that channel. Now, according to the last click model in this case, the last click model is telling you, guys, you have wasted all your money investing in the other channels. You would have invested in me 100% of your budget, and because I'm responsible for the whole conversions. But this is definitely untrue, because again, if it wasn't of the channels you have invested in, the customer would have never landed on this last channel to make the conversion. The other model we already discussed, which is the linear attribution. So in this case, in this customer journey, the customer has landed on 3 channels. So as we said, this model, it distributes the credit equally among all the channels. So 33% of the credit is given to every channel. But definitely, of course, there are some channels which contributed more. There are some channels who had more convincing content to the customer, which affected his decision making, and it doesn't see any impressions. So definitely, first of all, impressions, definitely, because they were, for example, in this case, they were the first, let's say, first touch point the customer had met to start thinking about buying the product. And as we said, like equal distribution of credits, which is also inaccurate and unfair, because as we said, definitely there are some channels which had more convincing content than others, and most touch points and advertising budgets are not counted. The other data-driven model, which is the click-based model, this is a self-explanatory model. Actually, it measures the attribution according to the clicks. Now, we don't consider this also an accurate model, because it doesn't reflect the reality so much. Like for example, let's say in this case, the customer, he was really convinced by the Criteo ad, but for a certain reason, somebody called him. He just had to leave, so he didn't make more clicks. So that's why it was given like the least credit. But this might not be true. So we don't consider this an accurate model as well. So as we said, it only measures the clicks, but not the impressions. This is another drawback for this model, that it doesn't see any impressions. The most accurate model we are talking about, which is the impression-based data-driven model. Now, in this model, huge amounts of data is imported and studied and learned from the behavior, from the time spent on every channel or impression, from the clicks also. So every single aspect, every single detail is learned and studied by the platform in order to give the fair distribution of every channel in this conversion. So as we said, this is the most accurate method for determining the true ROI of marketing channels and the ultimate source of truth for your campaigns and advertisements. This is another, let's say, a visual representation that compares all the four models that we have spoke about. Now, the million-dollar question is how to allocate budget for the best ROI. Of course, Roivenue will collect all the data that you have acquired from your advertising platforms, from your web analytics, and your internal systems. So it gathers and it accumulates all the data from the channels. It accumulates all the conversions from your web analytics, and it also connects to your internal systems because you might have some like profit margins or revenues that you need to compare. You can also have like some returns. There might be some defected items that are also returned by the clients. So it connects all your internal systems, web analytics, and an advertising platform all in one platform, and using an AI-powered attribution, it will give you actionable insights, and you can also export to other BI tools, or you can consider it as your data warehouse. So like, this is one feature of Roivenue, which is like, it's called data integration. We're going to be discussing it in the next slides. So why do we say it is like, you can consider it as a data warehouse? Because, for example, if you want to like gather your data from different channels, you're going to have like maybe manual Excel sheets from a Facebook ad, from Instagram, from TikTok, whatever channel. So this is like, first of all, it is exposed to high probability of human error, and most importantly, loss of data. So that's why if you can import all your data to Roivenue, it will be considered as like a warehouse for your data, all found in one place, in one sheet, and then you can go for the next steps if you want to, let's say, go for attribution or anything else. So, like as we said, Roivenue, it connects all your advertising platforms, your investments, the channels you have put money in, your web analytics for showing your conversions, and it also connects your internal systems to see maybe profit margins, returns, or as we said, like defected items which were returned. So all the data is like everything related to every conversion is available for you to have the most accurate source of truth. Now, Roivenue's AI model learns from your data. It scores different touch points and calculates conversion probability based on these touch points. What are the benefits of this learning? The benefits of this learning is to avoid unnecessary retargeting, just not to waste any money, expose parasitic channels, which will help you see underperforming or overperforming channels, and it also Roivenue, it also recognizes the decided customers. What I mean by that is like Roivenue can recognize customers who have already decided to buy your product, but for a certain reason, they didn't. What are these certain reasons? Maybe they went to an affiliate. Maybe they went to get a coupon for a discounted price. So Roivenue has the ability, according to the behavior, to recognize these people who already took the decision, but they didn't buy just because they wanted to go for the discounted price or they wanted to go through an affiliate. So Roivenue can help you do that. Now, wrap up everything. Roivenue, this intelligent platform, if you connect it to your marketing strategy or your systems, it mainly has like 4 benefits and 3 features. The first benefit, which is the first feature as well, is the data integration. This is the benefit. This is the feature, the data integration. So where you integrated all your data all in one place. And in order to have faster, neater, and less time consuming gathering data, you can save up, this is the benefit, you can save up to 50 hours per month using Roivenue because all your data is accumulated and gathered in one place. Benefit number 2, which is establish the ultimate source of truth, which is our second feature and our main feature, which is the data-driven attribution. So with attribution, you can, this gathered data that you have collected from all your systems, it is compared, studied, learned by the platform in order to give you actionable insights. And according to so many studies, there was a study between the last click model and the data-driven model. 1.61 ratio was achieved as a return on marketing investment according to data-driven attribution versus 0.54 return on marketing investment according to the last click model. Now, benefit number 3 is no more budget wasted due to undetected issues, because you will be alerted when the performance is deviating from the plan. How do you do that? Because you will be discovering the root causes of this deviation. So you will not reach a point that your channel is actually underperforming. So you'll be seeing the root causes of everything. This is as for benefit number 3. Now, benefit number 4, which is our third feature, is the budget optimizer. And this is actually a very unique feature in Roivenue. Not everybody has it. The budget optimizer, it increases the revenue and the profit. How it increases the revenue and profit? Well, this feature is actually mostly used by the leadership team, marketing directors, CMOs, maybe the CEOs, maybe the owners of the company. This feature, as you can see on the screen, it shows you like a graph. This graph, it doesn't go into any technicalities, any details that the decision makers don't want to interfere with. They just need to see the results. So in this feature, the information showed on the screen is how much you invested and how much is the return and the conversion versus the investment. And the good thing, another like option that the user can have. Let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say he's investing $1,000 on Facebook ad. It will show him that the conversion versus this $1,000 is, let's say, 100 conversions or 100 sales transactions. Another option he can do, which is like, if he wants to add extra $100 for Facebook ad, okay, so he had $1,000 the budget for investment as to Facebook ad, but he wants to add 100 extra dollars. So the platform is able, according to the data that he learned, from the behavior and from all the data that it studied, it will give him like an approximate or an expected conversion due to this extra $100 he invested. So for example, as we said, $1,000 extra $100, the platform will expect, like, for example, for this 100 extra dollars, that 5 orders will this extra investment bring. Then at the same time, he will use this 100 extra dollars in another channel. For example, it will show him that 150 orders will be shown. So in a way, the platform is showing him that the extra budget allocation or investment in Facebook is not worth it. It's more worth it to put it somewhere else. So definitely the platform, it doesn't tell you what to do, but it gives you, or it facilitates for you to take the decisions according to the data, the accurate data that you have. So this is basically the benefits and the features of Roivenue. Now, we have like different random customers. Of course, here are different random customers. I believe in the Middle East area, you are not very familiar with these names, but like we have other names like Vodafone, we have other names like AXA, the insurance company, and in the UAE, we have the luxury closet as one of our customers. So as a general, or let's say an average result of implementing Roivenue, most of our customers, like let's say 98% of our customers, they reached an increase of marketing ROI and revenues by 15%. So this is basically my part for today. Thank you for listening. I hope I was as clear and as summarized as possible. And I'm really happy that you have attended this session. Now I'll keep the floor for my colleague Lukas, who will be presenting, as we said, for 15 minutes, a live demo of the platform. And then we will have another 15 minutes to answer your questions, which you provided on Slido. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fadi, and hello, everyone. Let me quickly share my screen. And so this is Roivenue's dashboard. This is where you actually can see all of your data. As you can see, this is after importing daily all of your marketing platforms, web analytics, across multiple countries, multiple e-shops, and all your internal systems into one place. So what we can see quickly, we can see the spends and clicks in coming in from marketing platforms. We can see also the web analytics part, so visits and all the other stuff coming from the internal system, orders, delivered orders, revenue and profit, and ending up all the funnel with the marketing profit. As you can see in this demo account, we have implemented 5 different websites. So right now we are looking at the performance of 5 different e-shops, 5 different countries at one place. And we can easily filter between them. But let's continue with targets. Targets are one of the features of Roivenue, where you can actually very easily follow some trends and your goals. So let's say you have goals for the next year, budget, ROAS, and any other metric that can be easily followed here on the dashboard. And as you can see, the green bars are when you are actually hitting the goal, you are doing good. The yellow ones are when you are in some tolerance zone. Let's say there was really a small percentage of the KPI or the value that you didn't hit the goal. So that's the yellow ones, and the red ones are that you are actually not hitting the goal at all. Going through the insights bar in the Roivenue, we can take a look at the attribution analysis, where we actually can easily compare different attribution models. By default, we offer most of the heuristic models in Roivenue, as Fadi described at the beginning of his presentation, namely last click, first click, linear, and time decay model. And we can compare all of these to the Roivenue RNN model. We can compare the data on different levels, different granularities. Right now, we are looking at comparison on platform level, and we are comparing net revenue. If we scroll down, we can easily see the differences between each model. We can see that on Google Ads, we have spent almost $1 million. And according to the Google Analytics last click model, it brought something around $6.9 million in revenue. According to the Roivenue's RNN model, this channel brought over 1.1 million more in revenue, doing something around 17% difference, which I think it's really huge gap. And what does it mean basically? It means that in Google Ads, there is some space to grow. There is space to grow, acquire new customers, increase the budget, increase the cost per clicks on campaigns, increase the amount of keywords on search campaigns, for example, wider the audience on the remarketing, etc. If you don't want to look at only the Google Ads or the platforms, we can also take a look at the campaign level. Let's say we can even go deeper. We can go to ad groups or ad sets or even ad creatives. But for now, let's take a look at the performance of only Google Ads campaigns. So we can easily filter and narrow the results down. And as you can see, the discrepancies got way higher. So we had 16% on the platform level, but as you can see on the campaign level, you can see even 50% differences between the last click and the RNN model. We can sort this down so you can see some negative differences. This means that the campaign was overvalued by you. Namely, the campaign is most of the times at the end of the customer journey. It's the last touch of the user, but other than that, the campaign is usually not that often in the customer journey, and thus you are spending a lot of money on this campaign for no reason. Moving on with the Dimension Explorer. Dimension Explorer is a feature that allows you to quickly compare one dimension and one metric. So it's good to get some overview of some part of your business. Let's say you have multiple websites and you would like to see how much you spent on each of them. So you can, in Roivenue, you can quickly compare the data between each website. Let's increase the granularity, and you don't want to look at marketing and maybe we can take a look at the gross profit per website. Just in one click, I can now see the gross profit generated by each website. Moving on to the Process Explorer, which is more complex version of the Dimension Explorer. Here we can compare up to 3 metrics at the same time. And furthermore, we can compare the data in time. So let's say, again, as an example, let's pick only Google Ads campaign. And maybe we want to take a look only at one of our markets, right? So we can easily narrow all of the data down, zoom in to some interesting time area. And let's say we want to compare this in time. So we can easily compare the data with any period we want. Let's say for now, let's compare it with the 4 previous weeks in this case. And as you can see, we can easily compare in time the performance of the Google Ads in the British market. We can see some increasing trend in the MROMI, and thus you can easily discover some performance possibilities or drawbacks of some of your adjustments in your campaigns in any given point in your business. And let's finish our tour or the demo tour in Roivenue with the budget optimizer that Fadi described. So the budget optimizer works on a basis per market. Now we are looking at the Czech market and we are looking at the platform level. The budget optimizer has multiple settings. You can set the budget optimizer to basically not limit the budget and optimize based on the growth. On the other hand, you can also set the settings to only reallocate the budget. So you want to keep the same budget, but you want to spend your money more wisely. Or you want to optimize, you want to save more money, so we can lower the budget, but keep as profitable performance as possible. So we will take all the money from all channels and reallocate it wisely. For example, now we are looking at the option with not limiting the budget at all. So we want to grow as fast as possible. And the budget optimizer, as you can see, tells us to spend almost $4,000 more in Google Ads with some expected outcomes on net revenue, gross profit, and the marketing profit. We can also click on the platform and see some more detailed description of the performance in time and what the adjustment should be. And that would be basically it for my part of the presentation of the demo. Hopefully there are some questions that I can answer. Maybe I could also touch on data export. So Roivenue, we are not a black box. You can export all of your data from Roivenue to CSV, Google Sheets, any SQL or Microsoft Azure server, or a JSON, or directly to Google Data Studio, and integrate all you have just seen on the front-end part with any business intelligence tool you are using. And for now, let's get to the part of questions and let me answer all of your questions that you might have. Fadi, can you share the screen with those questions?
Great. Thank you, Lukas, for your presentation. Now, these are some questions that some of the attendees have asked. Then Lukas will be answering those questions. So please go on, Lukas.
Oh, great. So how often does Roivenue download and process data? So Roivenue downloads data every morning, and we also process them every morning. What effect on ROI can I get by implementing Roivenue? So as Fadi said, on average, our clients get something around 15% increase in ROI or any other related metrics. How granular data can we get in Roivenue? So by default, we work on a campaign granularity. We can also go with ad groups or assets. That's not a problem for us. And if it would be very advanced, we can also go to the ad creative level. That's very difficult setup, but it's possible to basically connect all your data on ad creative level. Talking about the exports, on the exports part, we can give you the granularity on a visit level. So you can export basically every single visit that happened on your website with the attribution calculated and all the related metrics and dimensions within the visit. How does the system give exact scores to different channels? So basically, there is no right answer to that because the model learns on your data. So the score to each channel is different per client based on the performance of the channel. And the model firstly calculates the probabilities of the conversion for each visit on your website with the channels associated with that, and then scores them by the logarithmic function. And the exact scores can be seen in the raw path export and raw path analysis, but there is not correct answer to that because it differs from client to client, and also it differs throughout the year. The model is retrained periodically every 2 weeks, and so every 2 weeks those scores slightly change. Is there a maximum number of channels Roivenue can handle, and are there any platforms that Roivenue can't be connected with? So basically, there is no limit of the amount of channels we can handle. The record for now is that we have one website connected with 24 different marketing platforms, and of course there is the possibility that we don't have connectors for every single platform there is on the market, but there is a possibility to upload the data to Roivenue manually. So that's giving us the flexibility to basically connect with whatever data source you might have. We will upload the data for you to Roivenue no matter what. Does Roivenue handle multiple currencies? Yes, we do. Basically, if you have, let's say, multiple websites, multiple e-shops, each operating in a different market, each of them will be stored in Roivenue in our database in different currency. So, namely, you can have European website in euros in Roivenue, and you can have business from US in US dollars, and you can have some Nordic e-shop with Swedish crowns in Roivenue, and all of these will be in a different currency in Roivenue, and on the front end it will be all converted to a single currency that you will choose basically, and you can change it at any point. And in the exports part, you can also export each of these e-shops websites in a different currencies, thus limiting the discrepancies that might happen during some currency conversions, because if we will store the data in the currency they are in the platform or in the Google Analytics, then there is basically not any space for mistakes here. How does the platform measure attribution for data from mobile apps? So here, it's a little difficult, but mostly we are focused on web analytics. That's the first part. And the second part, we can integrate with mobile apps, but that we need you to have some measurement for that, namely Firebase or AppsFlyer. If you have such tools implemented, we can calculate attribution as for a normal user on a website. What are the strategies if you want to improve our Google Analytics? So I don't really understand the question, but let's say you struggle with some measurement. In Roivenue, you will usually get a client success manager with your account in Roivenue, such as me. And once we are implementing your account into Roivenue, we detect some of these issues that you might have with some UTM parameters, some measurement issues that's happening. And we can advise you how to basically get rid of these issues, how to improve the Google Analytics, and how to fix the issue basically. And if you are not capable of doing so, we can also recommend some of the companies that we know can do that for you. How we measure CLV using Roivenue? So we can measure CLV once you connect your internal system, and basically based on the user ID, some unique identifier of the user, could be hashed email, hashed phone number. Based on that, we connect the entire user journey on your website and calculate the CLV based on that. Is there a partner program from Roivenue? Yes, there is actually. We have a partner program for our agency partners, and there is also a commission for each client that you bring. So yes, so we do have a partner program, and for more detailed information, please contact Fadi here, and he can give you sample contracts and all the details that you might need. Yeah, Fadi, I also covered the these are cryptocurrencies, sorry. So no, we do not support cryptocurrencies, or I don't know if you mean payments for revenue in cryptocurrencies, or no, because the standard platforms and web analytics, those do not work in cryptocurrencies as far as I know. So not yet, but you know, we are not limiting ourselves. So we don't support it now, but in a year, who knows, we might. Are there like ongoing trainings in order for each participant to become an expert in this platform? Yes, actually, yes. So once you are onboarded, we offer you either group trainings with other onboarded clients once a week or bi-weekly, let's say, or you can also have one-to-one trainings with your client success manager. And this training usually takes from 8 to 10 weeks, or on a weekly basis, you will meet with the client success manager for 1 or 2 hours, and you will learn to use each feature in Roivenue to its maximum potential. And so, yes, we don't give you the platform itself and tell you like work with it. No, we will help you get on board. We'll help you with the entire setup, and also we will teach you how to use it. Oh, thank you for all of your questions. Let me check the chat if there are no more. No. Oh.
No, we're good.
So, great. Thank you everybody for those questions and for participating. And now I'm giving the word back to Fadi. Thank you.
Thank you, Lukas. Thank you for the demo. Thank you for the answers. We are definitely on time. great. First of all, I need to remind you that I'm handling the Arab nations in Roivenue. So let's say every single potential partner in the Arab market. We were basically focusing on UAE and KSA customers recently, but now we have let's say penetrated all the Arab nations, all the markets. So I want to thank you all again for attending this webinar. I hope you met the expectations that you wanted to have. We will be sending you some feedback forms. We please ask you kindly to fill them all, and you can also book for a personal consultation with us through me, of course. We can also show you another personal demo with your questions, like show me this, show me this. So it will be a personal consultation and personal demo. Of course, everything is for free. So we are like looking for partners rather than customers. So again, thank you so much for investing your time, and hope to see you soon in other webinars. Have a good day and have the rest good week. Bye bye.
Thank you for attending. Have a nice day. Bye bye.